So speed is two things. It's stride length and stride frequency. Stride frequency breaks down into two different categories. You have air time, you have ground time. So time on the ground, time in the air. Add those two together, that's your frequency. Stride length is easy. It's how far each step is. So when I'm analyzing my velocity, I'm really analyzing how far do I travel on each step, how much air time did it take, and how much time did I spend on the ground. So what we've done is we've looked at data from the best sprinters in the world and found norms that we create that look at those contact times, and then you can study your athlete against those contact times to see if they're trending in the right direction. So when I'm coming from my stance to first push, by toe off, I'm at about 0.35 seconds. Some of our best guys that we've seen, Greedy Williams, Quinn Williams, can get under 0.3 seconds from stance to first projection. That first air time, you're looking at 0.05 seconds. So it's a good flight phase, but not too much. That first contact happens in 0.14. The next air time happens in about 0.07 seconds. So a little bit longer. The next contact is at 0.123. So you see the air times go up, the contact times go down as velocity goes forward. And the reason for that is that distances rise. So my distance to first step is about a yard. My second step is about 2.05 yards, so a little bit further. And my third step ends up being 3.85 yards. So each step progressively gets longer to the point where the air time is creating more distance and the contact times end up being shorter. But in order to get a good start, which is 0 to 2 steps in our book, you have to have great horizontal strength, which only comes from sled running, resisted running, drills, those things like that. This phase is not dominated from just squatting, benching, all that stuff. While it helps and it gives you total force, we're looking for the horizontal component of force to create these angles so an athlete can get out of this phase successfully. Once I get through to my second step, end of the second step, you should be at 25 to 30, maybe even 35% of your total velocity within those steps. For our first couple contacts, like I would say first 3 contacts, the shin angle is going to match the body angle. So we're going to see these acute angles, maybe 43, 45 degrees of the shin, 43 degrees of the body. We'll see those increasingly rise every single step. The shin angle is going to rise at a different speed than the body angle. So the shin angle by step 7, you'll see it be vertical, up and down. By step 7, the body is still oriented horizontal. So as you go through steps 1, 2, 3, you start seeing the shin angle rise quicker, which means the force is getting more and more vertical, but the body angle is continuing to push forward. So we're still in propulsion. Then you get through step 7, 8, 9, 10, you see the body angle start to rise. By step 10 through 12, you see the body angle up tall, you see the hips tall, and you see the foot landing directly under the hip. So that phase, a lot of athletes will try to manage this by attacking back for too long. At a certain point, you can no longer keep that steep angle of the shin, and you have to rise or you're not going to get that vertical force down. So horizontal force dominates the first couple contacts. So it'll be, for some athletes, above 50% of the ratio of horizontal to vertical force. After those first couple steps, it's dominant from vertical force. Now, you still have that horizontal component, but you really want to look at, can that shin still be going down at a relatively vertical angle, but then continue to push that leg back? Because that's where the horizontal part is going to come, is from the backside. Once I hit the ground, it's going to push the ground away and keep my body horizontal. So the long axis of my body, from my head down to my heel, is still horizontal, although the front shin might be vertical. So I want to rise that up until I reach max velocity. I'm looking between 10 and 12 steps as I go.